The power of saying no. Let's talk about it. You think you're being helpful when you say yes. You think you're being polite, easy to work with, a good friend, a good partner. But every time you say yes, when you wanted to say no, you're making a quiet trade. A piece of your time, your energy, your peace gets handed over. And the worst part is, no one even notices. Because you've trained them that you'll always make it work. That you'll figure it out. That your needs come last. You don't need someone to take advantage of you. You do it yourself. Because saying no feels dangerous. You picture the disappointment, the tension, the risk of being seen as difficult or selfish. So you bite your tongue, you stretch yourself thin, you overcommit. But inside, a quiet resentment grows. You tell yourself it's fine, but your body keeps the score. The tension in your shoulders, the exhaustion you can't explain, the irritation at small requests. Because every yes that should have been a no is a tiny betrayal of yourself. It doesn't blow up all at once. It builds until you can't tell the difference between being helpful and being used. And here's the hardest truth. People treat you the way you teach them, and when you never say no, you're teaching them that your boundaries are optional. The reason you struggle to say no isn't because you're weak or too nice, it's because you learned early that keeping people happy keeps you safe. Think back, maybe it was a parent whose mood controlled the whole house. One wrong word, and the air turned heavy. So you learned to smooth things over, to avoid conflict, to be agreeable. Or maybe it was friends, where belonging meant blending in, not rocking the boat, not asking for too much. That pattern never left, it just grew up with you. Now, every time you consider saying no, your mind doesn't see it as a boundary, it sees it as a threat. It triggers the same fear of being left out, rejected, labeled as difficult. So you say yes, even when it costs you, because the discomfort of overcommitting feels safer than the discomfort of confrontation. But what you're really doing is keeping yourself small. You make yourself easier to be around, at the expense of being true to yourself. And here's the cruel twist. The more you say yes to avoid rejection, the more invisible you become. People stop noticing your effort because you never give them a reason to. You become expected, not appreciated. And every time you silence your no, you teach yourself that your peace matters less than their convenience. That lesson quietly erodes your self-respect, one small yes at a time. Before we keep going, if this is resonating with you, tap like button so this reaches others who need it. And if you want more videos that cut through the fluff, hit subscribe. On the surface, saying yes looks generous, kind, easy. But underneath, there's a price. You give up time you don't have, energy you can't afford, space you desperately need. It shows up in small ways. You cancel your own plans to help someone who barely says thank you. You stay late at work because no one else volunteered, even though your plate was already full. You agree to favors that leave you stressed, irritable, and secretly wishing you had said no. But by then, it feels too late. And every time you say yes, when you meant no, you reinforce a dangerous belief. that other people's comfort matters more than your boundaries. The emotional toll builds quietly. You feel it when you're exhausted but can't explain why. You feel it when you get irritated at small, harmless requests. You start avoiding people, not because you don't care, but because you're tired of being needed. The problem isn't them, it's the role you've locked yourself into. You think you're being kind, but kindness without boundaries isn't kindness, it's self-abandonment. And the more you abandon yourself, the more disconnected you feel. Until one day you realize you're living a life shaped by everyone else's needs, while yours are left in the background. That quiet erosion of self is the real cost of never saying no. The first time you say no, it feels wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. Your body reacts. Tension in your chest. Tightness in your throat. Guilt whispering in your ear. But beneath that discomfort, there's relief. A quiet moment where you realize you just protected your peace. No argument, no explosion, just a simple no. It doesn't have to be harsh or defensive, it can be calm, clear, firm. Because saying no isn't about rejection, it's about respect. Respect for yourself. And here's what happens when you do. People adjust. Some are surprised, but the ones who value you, they'll understand. The ones who don't, were never respecting you to begin with. Every time you say no when you need to, you send yourself a message that your time matters, that your energy isn't endless, that you deserve to be treated with the same consideration you give others. This is where boundaries start to build, not as walls but as clear invitations for the right people to meet you with respect. The more you practice saying no, the less you feel the guilt. Not because you care less, but because you're finally caring in the right direction. You stop agreeing to things out of fear. You stop overcommitting to protect other people's comfort. You stop abandoning yourself to maintain the illusion of being nice. And something shifts. You feel lighter, calmer, more in control. Not because your life got easier, but because you stopped giving pieces of yourself away for free. You notice how much energy you save when you only say yes to what truly matters. You notice the peace that comes from living in alignment, not obligation. The people around you feel it too, because when you respect your own boundaries, it teaches them to respect you as well. That's the power of saying no. It's not about pushing people away, it's about making space for the things, the people, the moments, that actually deserve a yes. If this gave you something to think about, tap like so more people can see it. And if you want more videos that go deeper than surface advice, hit subscribe. The videos on this channel are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They do not constitute medical, financial, business, legal, or lifestyle advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making changes to your health, finances, legal situation, or personal routines. Do your own research before making monetization decisions. The views expressed are based on publicly available research and emerging technologies at the time of publication, and may change over time.